met my wife at a club, right? Like where everybody says you're not supposed to meet your wife. You're supposed to meet her in Bible study, mister. What's the matter with you? You should meet her in college. Let me tell you something. The BPD girlfriend that I always refer to on this show when I talk about like BPD or MPD, I met her at college. I met her on a college campus. That's where that went. And yet the woman who was going to be my wife, I met at a club, and not at a club in the way that you are probably thinking right now. I met her at a gig that I was playing, and a friend of mine's band was playing at that time too. And I was done. And this was just right after. I'm going to tell you the story. Here's stories from Rolo. You guys like that last story I gave you about the single mommy, what is it? The secret agent, secret mommy, secret mommy. So here's the brief version. Ask me one of these times where if you see me live somewhere, I will tell you the full story. But just for sake of brevity right now, I met my wife at a club, and she was with her girlfriends. I think she was with like 4 or 5 other girls. And I was waiting in line to get a beer, I think. Or I was waiting in line to get a drink, and I was just after the show. And I noticed this group of girls, and I looked at my wife, and she was the hot, tall blonde of the group. Sorry, that's just my thing. And this was just right after I got out of the relationship with the BPD girl. I think I was already dating at that time. I was like kind of spinning plates, although I didn't realize it. I was just like, I'm not going to make any long-term commitments, but I still want to get after it. Right. So I was spinning plates. I was dating non-exclusively. I kind of went back to my old kind of routine, I think, when I was in the Hollywood like club scenes in my earlier 20s at that time. And I'm like, you know what? I had finally decided that I was going to make myself my mental point of origin, although I didn't call it mental point of origin at that time. And but it seemed to be working out pretty well. It's kind of like, once you're not trying to get laid, that's when girls want to get with you. And I think there's actually something to that, but I think it's more it's not like woo-woo magical stuff or like some sort of Zen, let yourself be an alpha. It's not like that. I think that you manifest behaviors once you adopt that attitude that maybe you don't even realize you're doing, that women pick up on. And maybe they don't even realize they're picking up on it, right? Maybe it might be like some sort of subconscious kind of limbic level awareness or sensitivity to like, oh, this guy's on his game. This guy's going somewhere. And so I met her, and one of her best friend at the time, I'm not going to name names, but her best friend saw me and I had long blonde hair almost down to my ass at that time. Saw me, and she starts coming up to me, and she starts like playing with my hair, and she's like, I want you to meet my friend. And I was like, oh, that girl over there, the hot one. I was thinking, that's what I was thinking, right? No, it was one of her fat friends. She drank sober, and she's half drunk as it is. And I'm like, I'm almost like, I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Hi. And I'm still waiting in line to get a beer. I didn't think I'd have even one drink at that time. And I'm like, well, yeah, hi, you're nice. Shake your hand. And I kind of suddenly I become friends with this person who I have no idea what her name is or who she is. I just met her right there on the spot. And I said, how about that one over there? I mean, literally, that's what I said. How about that one over there? And so she introduces me to who would be Mrs. Tomasi, and the rest is history. And that's more or less how I met my wife, right? At a gig, I guess it would be a club. It's not like a club like you would think, like in terms of like, say, bottle service, and it's not like Lex down here. It's not like some of these clubs where it's just like, DJ and house music and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. A lot different for us guys. So that right there was how I met my wife. And that's, later on I sort of ran, I guess I ran game on her. I mean, it was more like nothing to lose game, if that's a thing. Like, I got nothing to lose by going and hitting you up. I was actually planning just to add her to rotation, and I did. We dated non-exclusively for probably a good 3 or 4 months. And then after that, she asked me to be exclusive. And I thought that was interesting, because I'm finally on my game enough where I'm not going, oh, please, can we be official? Will you be my girlfriend? Like serial monogamists do. And she was the one who hit me up and wanted to be exclusive with me. And at that time, she was the hottest and funnest in bed and that I was with. And I'm like, yeah, all right. and that, again, it seemed like a good idea at the time. And so, like I said, the rest is history. And we sort of developed a relationship, and we've been I guess I've known her for like 26 and a half years now, but been married for 25 years. And that's how we met. That is probably not how most people meet today. In fact, I can statistically prove that to you. I put it in, where is it? And I put it in the data of this book of The Rational Male Religion. There's a hefty chapter in religion about marriage. And in that chapter, I outline how people meet today. It's not through friends. It's not through Bible study. It's not through church camp. It's not through, it's not even really through clubs all that much. Like, I'm going to go down to the club and see if I can find a girl, right? I'm sure that probably still happens, but primarily people meet through online dating services, through Tinder, through Hinge, through Bumble, through seeking arrangements, through and you know what? I'm probably like, people are going to come back to this video and they go, I can't believe you mentioned all those old apps, because there's probably going to be something in the future that's going to be even more endemic than Tinder or whatever else is today, or seeking arrangements for that matter. Now, that's how it is done, but we still have that idea that that's the way it shouldn't be done. The old order way of thinking about people, like men and women coming together, is always about, well, boy meets girl. We were at the high school dance and I saw her across the basketball gymnasium court, and the angels sang and the lights shined down on her and I knew she was the one. Right? Happy days, 1950s. Nobody dates anymore, man. It's not about dating. It's about brand management. And that's really what seeking arrangements is. And that's really what Tinder is. And that's really what Hinge is. That's really what Instagram is, ladies, if you're watching this. Men too. So what do? I was just on this show about 2 weeks ago, and I actually showed the video on here. I was talking about how, what was it? Sugaring. I was talking about sugaring and the sugar babies and all that. And I showed you guys that video of the, I think it was in Vegas, in the convention, where women were getting together. And a lot of these were like kind of washed out, like, post-wall women. But they were getting together and they were trying to figure out how to leverage sugaring to better effect. You guys saw that. In fact, that was probably the highlight of that show. People are like, I can't believe this actually exists. Oh my God. Well, okay. That's brand management, is it not? I'm managing my brand of me. My brand of me needs to find a husband. My brand of me would like to start a family. My brand of me would like to get with the best guy that I can possibly get with. That's what Dr. Jordan Peterson was all talking about, right?